Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today is another late night vlog. And I think tonight, I don't expect us to get all the way through the next, give it a second. I don't expect us to get all the way through the next trial. But as you can see, the at the end of the last trial, or at the end of the last episode, we were able to beat the fire trial, which is really cool. The fire trial is a particularly difficult trial. It's difficult to like one-shot it and sweep it, the way you kind of can do with trial two, or the way that we mostly did with trial two. And so uh, instead, we have, or at this point, now that we've done that, we can go try to beat Trial 3. Trial 3 has, I think, one route between it and this battle. I forget what that is, but I don't think it's anything that I'm particularly mad about losing out on. Um, Let's take a look at our Pokemon really quickly. So to beat the fire trial, we really relied heavily on Waturium Z Wishy-Washy after a rain dance to kind of one-shot the totem. But then the Slazzle was obviously difficult for us to take out, so we had to use a mixture of cadmium. Um, we didn't need to use Percy, but it was good to have Percy with us. We used Gyarados because, of course, we use Gyarados. Gyarados is such a good Pokemon for Nuzlockes. We didn't have to use Rockruff, but we had Rockruff present. And then we relied heavily on Furfrou, who we'll probably continue to rely on until maybe mid to late Island 3, I think is where Furfrou will probably fall off. So I think I've kind of said this before, but I like to summarize again at the beginning or throughout different episodes. Um, so this is generally Island 1 through 2, is where I expect to get to at any given time. Once we're midway through Island 3 and onwards, I've only gotten there maybe 3 or 4 times with Deathless Nuzlocke since I've never beaten Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon through completely. Um, so my knowledge will kind of go down in terms of exactly what the right choices are, um, as we continue on. But for now, we're going to get access to the next route, which is super helpful, which is going to give us another encounter. I believe this next encounter is the first time that we are able to encounter Stuffle, I think is the name of the Pokemon. So Stuffle is the other Pokemon who has the ability, um, well, he has fur coat. I believe Stuffle's is like fluffy or something. So that also reduces physical damage. Um, we really want that Pokemon. If we can encounter a Stuffle, and get Beware and Mimikyu are two of the best possible encounters in Gen 7 Nuzlocke. So we absolutely want Beware. It is possible to completely miss Beware, just like it is possible to miss Mudsdale, or Mudbray, which it kind of feels like at this point we may have missed Mudbray completely. I don't know if you can get Mudbray anywhere else. I'm not sure. But the next kind of like Pokemon that we really want to capture is Stuffle. Typically, you don't capture him in this next route. You capture him further on in Akala Island, but it would be nice to catch him. Okay, so let's talk about the grass type trial. So when I've mentioned the difficulty of every trial, I kind of haven't mentioned the grass trial, partly because I think the fire trial is so difficult that I kind of want to get through it before I even consider it. But what we have slowly been doing is we've been slowly training up a set of intimidate ability Pokemon. And these are extra important for the grass trial. So the grass trial is not very threatening in terms of the secondary Pokemon. So the reason that the fire trial is so threatening is because not only is Alolan Marowak pretty threatening, um, but the Slazzle is actually almost the more threatening of the two Pokemon. Um, so you have to kind of play with finding a way to beat them both without taking too much damage. In the next trial, it leans really, really heavily on its totem Pokemon, which is Totem Lurantis. And Totem Lurantis is a physical attacker, and it is one hell of a physical attacker. However, since we have lithium, astatine, and cadmium, we're going to be able to switch back and forth, back and forth, back and forth between a bunch of physical attackers who all either resist or are normally damaged by grass type moves. And that's going to be super important for us to win. So right now, if I had to take my team at the moment and create the counter team, I think we do something along the lines of this, with either arsenic or carbon. So I would love to use arsenic if I could guarantee that this could evolve into a Crobat in time. The problem is the only way that I could get this into a Crobat is by like running a whole lot for a long period of time. And I don't think that that makes very good vlogging, so I don't plan on doing it. So I think we're going to say that Crobat is not going to be used. And so instead, I think we're going to try to use Carbon. Let's take a look at what level our next level cap is. I believe it's 24. Yeah, it's 24. Okay. So 24 is the next level cap. Let's check if anyone is really on 24 already. Good. No one is already level 24. So we could use Fearow. Fearow is another Pokemon that maybe might be a good choice. We could also use Tellurium or Boron. The other thing I wanted to look up is what what level does Beauty Fly evolve? Level 25. So we're not quite going to be able to get a Rabombi. Without Rabombi, I don't really think that Cutie Fly is going to be super usable. So for now, let's plan on Fearow, but we're gonna try to evolve. Oh no, Tellurium is modest nature. We don't want the attack down nature right now. So for now, we're gonna stick with this. Um, and we'll try to level up some of this team as we go. But for now, I think we have a pretty decent team to beat the Totem Lurantis with. This is another one of the trials that can very easily spiral out of your control. And we really don't want that to happen. And it is possible to, but I think that I think we'll be okay. There are a lot of strats we can do to try to make it less likely for us to spiral out of control. Sorry, my cat is being a lot right now. I will be right back. I need to deal with my cat. Percy. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. My cat was being crazy, as he tends to be. Let's see. What is this area called? Is this its own little area? Because if it is, then we get a unique encounter in it. I think we do. I just forget. Yeah, so we actually get a really lucky encounter in here, which is cool. So there are a couple Pokemon you can get in here, including Wimpod. Wimpod would be a great encounter to get because it will evolve into um, Golisopod. which is a super strong Pokemon that will take itself, which will switch itself out of a battle um, if it gets too hurt. So it is a pretty great Pokemon. Um, sorry, Percy. Percy, stop. Stop, 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 stop. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Okay. Now that that's dealt with, we are going to go try to get our encounter in here. Um, we may have to run in and out of here once or twice in order to get it. Getting Wimpod here also opens up another encounter later, which would be really great. I believe we don't want whatever Pokemon falls down in here. I think we want to actually physically find a Wimpod running. So we're going to try to do that. Oh, wait, did I see it? Yep, there it is. Okay, so we get our Wimpod encounter, which is good. I forget if it's possible for this Pokemon to flee, but we're going to hope it's not. Oh, we have quick balls. We definitely want to use a quick ball if we can on the first turn. Let's hope to get it for a catch. Hell yeah. Okay. Um, okay, so we need to choose an element to name the Wimpod. We're definitely gonna go for Francium. That feels like it makes the most sense. Um, sure. Good to know that Florian's already level 23. We need to look out for our Pokemon levels as we go through the next area. There's really not much space between the three totem Pokemon, and so it doesn't take super long to train. I think this is how you spell Francium, right? We're just going to assume that it is, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and then that's mean of me. But okay, so we want to attack up nature. Defense down nature is not great, but it's also not horrendous. Um, we're gonna send it to the box, but we're gonna go grab it the moment that one of our Pokemon turns level 24. Oh, and I dropped a big pearl. That's very nice of it. I'm kind of curious on what we missed out on. So let's go see if there's any, if we can find any of the Pokemon that dropped from the ceiling, because I don't remember what else you can find in here. But I don't think it's anything that I particularly want. Oh, it's Kecleon. Yeah, Kecleon unfortunately just is not very useful. I love Kecleon as a Pokemon in theory, but it's just not useful in a Nuzlocke. Its stats are kind of way too low, and its gimmick is way too not useful. But we were happy to get the Wimpod. Very, very happy for that. Okay, so that gives us that encounter, and now we're on Route 8, and so we are going to get off our Tauros. Oh, here comes Percy. Hi, love. Um, you're okay. What's the matter? What's wrong, love? He's in a mood tonight. We're meeting me in Pokemon form. I love Colress's character. He's very fun. So this is a Pokemon scientist, for those of you who don't know. Um, he's a really interesting character, kind of very mm, morally gray, not morally gray, he's kind of morally evil, but in terms of his interaction with the players, it's pretty gray. He helps you more than he hurts you. Um, okay, so let's grab our encounter because I am curious to see what we get. There are a lot of possible encounters in this area. And Stuffle is the best, but we can get plenty of others that are also good. Okay, so we have already gotten a Alolan Rattata, so that means that is not our encounter. We'll let Percy do some damage with it. I guess that this is one good reason to have already gotten a Alolan Rattata, is now we can't grab it here. Although it did keep us from potentially getting a Bagon, which kind of sucks, but that's okay. We really want a good encounter. You can also get Salandit here. Salandit is good only if it's a female, because then it can evolve into Slazzle. If it's a male, it's pretty useless to us. Okay. We do need to be careful with levels because the final, the totem care, the Kahuna of this island, I believe, is level 26. And we have a long way. So this is the evolved version of Pikipek, which means that we've already caught one Pokemon from its line, which means it is not our encounter. But basically, we need to be careful about not over leveling the Kahuna with our Pokemon. Most of our Pokemon are going to be weak to rock type, so it doesn't really matter. But we still do want to be careful. Wishy-washy is going to be really important for that last battle. Oh, okay. Maybe we'll keep going for a little bit into a different grass patch. See if we can get a different encounter. Remember, we really want Stuffle. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Really quickly, I'm going to look up the possible encounters just to check. Oh, I suppose that we could try to go for a Chincho. That would be interesting. Potentially useful later, actually. Let's see what we can get in the grass. Yeah, we can find Stuffle. So I think that Stuffle is better. A guaranteed Stuffle is better than a possible Chincho. Well, not guaranteed because we found Salandit. So we really hope this is a girl. If this is a girl, then it's a great encounter. Damn. Well, it's not a girl, which means it's a pretty crap encounter. Salandit has really bad stats, but that's okay. It is our encounter, unfortunately. So we'll take it. Unfortunately, this is one encounter less, which would make it possible to catch Stuffle. So we do need to be a little careful from here on out. Ooh, Dragon Rage. Okay, it is very easy to. This is one of the reasons that it's really easy to lose or fail an encounter with Salandit. Um, because it has Dragon Rage. And unfortunately, I don't have any Pokemon that can live two Dragon Rages. So we are going to desperately hope that it does not choose to Dragon Rage again. But we shall see. Good, it did. Phenomenal. Um, I would be worried that we will kill it if we try anything else. So I think we're just going to go straight for a nest ball and just hope that we get some good luck. I believe Salandit has a pretty decent like catch rate. Okay, good. We are not going to be able to use this Salandit, unfortunately. So we need to take, I want to give it a something that I don't really care about giving to anyone else. I did spell francium right, by the way. Lanthanum? Yeah, Lanthanum sounds just fine. Percy wants to learn bite. Yeah, bite is probably better than lick, so we'll give it to it. Lanthanum. Yeah, unfortunately, I really wish that that had been a female, but it wasn't. Lan then Lanthanum. I have absolutely no idea what that element is. Like most elements I've heard of before, I have never heard of lanthanum. What a shame that that's not a female. Failed. Okay. At this point, we should just train our Pokemon. So we'll go fight some trainers. Percy is now level 24, so we definitely do not want him to overlevel. So maybe we'll use sodium here. And then unfortunately, another thing that we're gonna have to do in this section is we've been putting off setting up the trading or like the multiplayer area. That's just because that takes like 5 minutes of completely dead time, and I've kind of not been wanting to like give that up. But this time we will go do that. We'll go do that maybe after our next Pokemon gets to level 24. The reason we have to do it is we're going to be forced to do it anyways in just a minute. So, but if you do it before you're forced to, you get to skip a little bit of the required like dialogue. Damn, it has become exceptionally hot in the Bay Area recently, which I hate. It is kind of killing me. I am not pleased with it. Um, I am built for the cold and the rain, not for the heat and the dryness. But here I am in Palo Alto. Okay. Okay, hyper potion. We will do the Roto lottery right after this. Did Furfrou level up? I don't think it did, right? Or maybe. Okay, Stuffle. Um, so the cool thing about Stuffle is that while physical attacks do less to it, okay, we did level up. Fire type attacks do a crazy amount of damage. However, Percy is a little light on fire type moves for the or a little low on HP, and Stuffle has pretty decent attack. So we are just going to try to use lithium. Oh, that's scary. Let's hope that we can kill it before two more turns go by. Okay, this Stuffle must not have. So it's possible for Stuffle to have two abilities. So one ability is, I believe it's Vital Spirit, and you don't want that ability. You want Fluffy instead. Um, so that one must have had Vital Spirit and not Fluffy. So even if you get a Stuffle encounter, you're not guaranteed to get a really good Stuffle, which is why Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are so up to RNG, which I think is a lot of fun. And they make it like possible to have like fun with the RNG too. Roto catches are cool, I suppose. We don't really use them much. I don't remember what this item is, but we'll go grab it. Ultra Ball. Okay. Let's do this really quickly. I wish we could skip it, but we cannot. It's basically just mashing A bunch. Um, Unfortunately. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. And with this, I believe we're allowed to leave. Yep, now we are allowed to leave. Okay. And now we go. All right. So we did that, which means that we don't have to deal with some of the mandatory dialogue that's coming up. I'm gonna be really mad if this is roll. Good. So I believe it's you only have like a 12.5% chance for a Salandit to be a girl. It's something really low because they really don't want you having Slazzle. Or they want to make you work for Slazzle, I suppose. I've never had a Slazzle in a Nuzlocke. I've had plenty of Salandits. Salandit is kind of normally the most likely encounter from this area. You're like twice as likely to see a Salandit as you are to see a sorry, you're twice as likely to see a Salandit as you are to see a Stuffle. So you usually get a Salandit here because you, at this point, have normally encountered Rattata already and Picky Peck. Though it's possible not to have encountered Picky Peck. We only very barely encountered that Pokemon. Oh, hi, Percy. Oh, careful, love. Percy, watch out. Oh, okay. Yep. So we got to skip the mandatory dialogue there, or most of the mandatory dialogue there. We'll rest up, and then we'll put away our level 24 Pokemon and go kind of train up our remaining Pokemon. So this is actually going to go quite a bit faster than I expected, which means that I think we will try to take down the grass type trial today, which I am quite anxious about. I am quite worried that it is not going to go super well, but we will try our best. It may be good actually to have 49 versus 47, right? 49 versus 49. This is going to be way higher attack because it's adamant. Yeah, we'll give some thought because I think we're going to try to use maybe Fly MZ would be better. Part of me is thinking, looking at these stats, that Charjabug and Fearow are actually the better two Pokemon to have here than Torracat. It's very interesting. But that is not what I meant to do though. Okay, so we will level up Charjabug. We will also finish leveling Florine. You are done. You can get leveled up because you are done. Where are we at? 23. You are also 24. Um, for the time being, we can do Cutie Fly. And then I said I wanted to do Wimpod. 23, 23, 23, 22, 20. What are you? 20? 20 is not bad. What level does Wimpod evolve? What level does Wimpod evolve? 36. Wimpod evolve. Not 36. I'm almost certain. 30. Okay. So we're not going to be able to use it for now, but I think it's probably worth doing some training with. So we will come back for it, I guess. Feels not the ideal way to go about it, but I think we'll just say we'll come back for it for now. Um, I want Golbat to be a little bit more useful, so I'm gonna give it. Oh wait, it has a Soothe Bell. I can't do that. Okay, that's fine. Hello, Percy. Maybe I should have tried buying some luxury balls earlier just to make arsenic more easy to level up. I think that that's maybe something to think about. So there's a certain type of Pokeball that will automatically give you, is it 100? Maybe like 100 friendship points. Do you need usually 250 friendship points in order to make a Pokemon evolve via friendship? Um, so I maybe it's a good idea to as early as you can buy luxury balls, buy like 5 to catch a Zubat with. Just because I do think Crobat would make this an exceptionally easy what's it called? An exceptionally easy trial. Not exceptionally. I mean, it's still possible to lose it, but Crobat is quite tanky and very, very fast and um physically offensive, which we like. Okay. You know what we should be doing right now? I did not even think about this. We got Roto experience points. We should definitely be using this at the moment. Apologies for not, for all the people who remembered and were like, you should be using them. We definitely should have been. We still have some trainers that we can fight though with this on. So on that note, let's just do that in case we get another lottery. We did not, which is fine. I believe he uses like Magnemites, if I remember correctly. So maybe we don't want you first. Actually, we'll figure it out when the time comes. Amora. Never mind. I was very wrong. This is still problematic, but I think it's less problematic, potentially. What am I going to use to kill you? Probably Mawile. It has Brick Break. I think it's a real shame that there are no fossil Pokemon in Gen 7. Gen 7 would be a really good place to have fossil Pokemon too. I feel like it would make sense. Using an X attack on a special attacker seems somewhat mundane or like not useful. Not mundane, that's the wrong word. Not useful. Superfluous. I guess that was the word I was looking for. Okay. Arsenic to 23. Carbon to 21. We don't want sweet scent. Oh, good. It's just Ilmenite. I did not really want to fight Tyrant. Not that I think it would have been that big of a problem, but Ilmenite is certainly less of a problem. Oh, okay, that was a critical hit. I was going to say that did quite a bit more damage than I expected that to do. Chlorine to 24, which means we can definitely switch out a couple Pokemon. Let's go do that really quickly. Okay. So we want Wimpod in. Damn, Estotite is still 23. I mean, I suppose that we could bring Boron up. Folium is a little low leveled. Quack, I don't think is useful here. Let's do this. I like to know what Pokemon are like ready. I don't think I think Smoochum is useful. Just well, we'll train Smoochum just because Jinx has good stats, just bad defense. Might as well, right? We haven't fought all the trainers, have we? That'd be crazy. No, there's that trainer. I guess that might be the last trainer though, question mark. So once Charge-a-Bug is level 24, I think we'll call it good. I think that will be our last Pokemon on our team. Great. Eevee, that's not going to give me very good EXP. We could try to make it so that we get a Rabombi by taking Q to fly to level 24 and getting it really close to evolving. And then forcing some encounters. I am amenable to that. The only issue is that Rabombi does not have super high defense. And that is the problem with this fight is you really need Pokemon that are able to tank hits because you're not going to be able to one-shot the Lurantis. Um, I want to fight her, but I'm pretty sure she's one of those like Pokemon trainers that gives you a TM. So I don't think that we can fight her really. So I think we'll just go fight some Pokemon. This is where I found my shiny when I was doing a Nuzlocke in the past. I found a shiny Salandit on this route. Boy. Oh. Heart stamp. Good Lord. That's physical though. No point in learning it. Did that give me 600 EXP? That's really good EXP. Good Lord. I guess it's probably 300 or like 400 before. Uh, Pretty sure this one gives me shit EXP, but we'll fight it anyways, I suppose. Well, maybe we shouldn't because we're gonna get one shot, but by Dragon Rage. I guess maybe we'll try to flinch it. Oh, you smart. That's good. If that did that much, then Wing Attack should definitely kill it. Yeah, boosted 300 is pretty low. We want the boosted 600 from the evolved Pokemon. Fighting baby forms tends to give you way less EXP than fighting evolved. Uh, if only. I think Supple will probably give us decent EXP, so I guess we'll try it out. If this doesn't do very much, then we're definitely going to use Air Cutter, which is a special move. Yeah, I probably should have started with that. Oh, gonna call in for help. Okay, how's that gonna go? It's gonna get the help. Oh, Air Cutter does hit both. That's phenomenal. We love that. Die, bitches. Good. How much does this give? Ah, pretty bad, but that's all right. We're doing it anyways. No point in learning Swift. Okay, 2 level 24s. We love that. No point in learning Twister. Ooh, Flail's a risky move. After all this time, I still don't really know how Flail works. Shit. Maybe I should have used Air Cutter. Okay, this did kill. Good. That's all I care about. Blub goes to 23. Carbon goes to 22. Good. We're getting close. We're getting very, very close. Um, we can fight a couple more, I think. We're not worried about anyone going to 24 or to 25 yet. And we're running out of time on this EXP. Oh, I totally forgot you could even find this on this route. Okay, well, this is a pretty bad matchup, but I think we can roll with it. We have Spark. As always, Gen 7 AI is not the best AI in the business. Ah, should have used freaking Ember on me or something. Damn, we would love another Trumbeak. Oh, Bug Bite's super effective. I forgot it's Dark type. There we go. That's exactly what we want. Let's spark. We're not holding a berry, are we? Okay, good. Oh, it's only 400? Okay, that's not as good as I thought. But 400 is still better than 300. So that's nice, especially since we can one-shot it. Sometimes I run into other grassy patches in an area and I pretend like it's like gonna yield different Pokemon than the other patches, even though for the most part in Pokemon, all patches of grass have the same encounter tables. That's not always true. I know there are a few that aren't that way, but for the most part, if you're in an area, that area all has the same encounter table. Almost there, almost to 24. I hope I'm not worried about like Gyarados going to 25, but I don't think I am. I think Flub should go up before any of the others. God damn, dude. Give me another Trumbeat. Shit. Oh. Rattata uses insurance, assurance, not insurance. Almost there. Okay. I think it's gonna ask me. We don't want to use another one. Of course, there's the Pokemon there. I was just thinking about the fact that there probably is. So I guess we could have gotten a Crabominable or a Crabrawler encounter. Problem is that Crabrawler just isn't useful enough, I don't think, as a Pokemon. There's not a good enough justification for it. There we go. There we go. All right, level 24. That is what we care about. Now that we're there, can we give me a citrus? No, we're gonna me three Pecha berries again. Oh, a cherry berry. I suppose that that's somewhat useful. Okay, I guess at this point we just have to decide on our team, really. 48, 34 versus 51, 42. I don't think there's a justification for taking him. So we want all of our intimidate mons. All of our intimidate mons are also pretty tanky and defensive, which we like. Um, I think Furfur makes sense to have. So at this point, what we're saying is we're doing Furfuru, Chargebug, who has absolutely phenomenal stats. I mean, it's because it's adamant nature specifically, but those are great. And we'll be able to tank a lot of hits. 71 is excellent, obviously, but that's just Gyarados. 82 HP with 48 is pretty good. 69 with, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we're just kind of at the point where this has to be the group. One thing that we do want to do here, um, we want all of our Pokemon to have Protect for this battle. So in this battle, I think we're gonna get rid of Bite. Bite's not gonna be super useful for a while. So in this battle, the way that this works is the Totem Lurantis is going to use a lot of the time an attack called Leaf Blade. The way that Leaf Blade works is it like charges energy for one turn. It's like physical solar beam. And so the first time it uses it, it's going to be able to use like a red herb or a power herb or something like that. And that's going to allow it to skip um, its first charge turn. But other than that, it's going to have to charge. And the only time it doesn't have to charge, did I not give this thing? That's fine. We can always reteach it echoed voice. Um, okay, so all of our Pokemon, so it uses one turn to charge and then one turn to attack. The only way it can from then on uh skip the turn of charging is if its helper Pokemon that it calls in learns. I think we want Leer here, so we're gonna go to tackle. If its helper Pokemon that it calls in has Sunny Day, and if it does, we're gonna bring in Gyarados to use Rain Dance. Okay, this seems pretty good. What? I have no idea which of these Pokemon should have which of these items. I don't think it's super important for. I think doing this means that Furo would have to start. But I don't think we actually want Furo to start. I think we want to go like that. I'm like 80% sure we want that. So basically, the Totem Lurantis is bulky enough that you're never going to one-shot it with a flying move, and it has the moves synthesis, even like Supersonic Sky Strike, the flying Z move. So you're never going to one-shot it. So what you want to do is you want to kind of bring its HP down with like Leer, which is why we left Leer on Gyarados. So you want to do that for a couple turns and then switch in and then one-shot it, which is definitely what we're going to go for. So we're going to save, and then we're going to go try to get this done and see how it goes. And then we'll call it a night and say that that's going to be just probably just over an hour, which is perfectly good. That's what we like. Just over an hour is just fine in terms of time. You may have thought that we changed areas back there, but we have already caught a Pokemon from that area. So we do not have an encounter there. I guess we want Roto Stealth maybe as a repel. Okay, Roto Encounter is good too. That gives us updated rare encounters or more likely to get rare encounters. Okay, here we go. I am genuinely scared of this trial. I'm also probably a little too tired to be thinking about this trial. Okay. Um, so there is a like method to this, so there's always a correct choice. I do not remember what it is, nor do I particularly care about fighting Fomantis. This is so the first two Pokemon that you would fight if you choose the wrong choice are both Fomantis. Um, and I don't, those are easy enough to kill. Um, I believe, I believe, fuck. I want to say it's this one. I want to say this is the one that you choose to not have to fight the Fomantis. I do not remember though, honestly. I do not for the life of me remember. Wait. Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like it is. I could definitely be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. I guess we'll find out. Can I be right about this one? Frick. Oh well, I have to fight one Fomantis. I should have known it was the last one. I should have seen those little buggers standing there. I have legitimately no idea for this one. I really could not tell you. Um, I want to say maybe it's this. I think I'm wrong. I think it's one of the other ones. I think it's one of the ones with white flowers. And then you can go grab a TM really quickly. Yeah, that's a not a super useful TM, but it's fine. So from here, we can go to the one that I absolutely do know which one you don't choose. Oh, damn it. God, dude. All right, fine. That's fine. It's fine. Two Fomantis to fight. Let's hope that Gyarados can one-shot them. I'm not sure that he can, but we're gonna hope. The Sudowoodo is super easy because it's the one that doesn't have feet. Excuse me. Yep, see, this one doesn't have feet, so this is the right one. Okay, and now we're gonna go finish the trial. Shoot. Okay. I really, really hope this trial does not go horrendously, but we shall certainly find out. Um, I don't know if I can kill in one shot with bite, but I guess that we hope that we flinch. If not, okay, we can. Great. We're not worried about the Fomantis. I didn't think that we were, but now we know we're not. Um, the Lurantis, however. So I think that we should be fine in terms of Gyarados' health. When we fight the Lurantis. So what I want to do is I want to stay in for one or two um rounds just to use Leer twice and then start switching out through my different intimidators. Flinch if it doesn't kill. Okay, good. That's free. Great. We got two free fights, and now we get to fight uh, the hard totem trial, which I am more than moderately concerned about. Let's see how it goes. We've made it this far. I mean, even if we lose here, it's still okay. We've made a good dent. I don't want to lose here, but we'll see. Let's give this a good old college try. I think we have a pretty decent plan to deal with this. So, hi Percy. Ooh, bye Percy. There's the big ass Lurantis. Except it's not, it's like your size. Okay, grass trial, here we go. Intimidated. Um, it's intimidated. I really do not think that we're worried about one solar blade. I guess if it crits, we may have a problem, but the odds of that are pretty low, and I think we should be able to survive one crit anyways. Oh, whoa. Whoa, whoa. Okay, well, that's unlucky. That is also unlucky. That is extra unlucky. Kecleon is not the one of the two that we wanted to see. Um, so this just became a quite a bit more problematic battle. Yeah. Okay, so this is fine. It's fine on that sense. Is that going to automatically make this attack go? I don't think it does. I don't think it works that way. Okay. Um, I kind of want to take out the Kecleon. Question is, do I think I live whatever Kecleon and Lurantis are going to do? I don't think I'll kill the Kecleon just by attacking it anyways. I should, okay, so after this, I just want to see what this is going to do. This is a -2 Solar Blade. It would have to crit again to be a problem. Okay. Okay. Oh, well, that's lucky. We got a nice crit as well. Whoa. Wow. Yeah, so this is why we absolutely did not want Kecleon. Um, I want to waste their PP. So I'm going to PP stall, which I know is not a super fun strategy, but part of me thinks it's the better way to do this. Okay, Dizzy Punch is fine. So we're going to switch, and we're going to lower their attack even more. And then we're going to kill the Kecleon. I forget if the Lurantis can actually call another helper. Ooh, X Scissor. Okay. Screech. Okay. Um, I think we want to switch here back to lithium and then kill the Kecleon. Basically, we are just trying to slowly whittle down the Lurantis' attack so that the only way that it's a risk is if it crits. Um, but I'm not super concerned. I should be, but I'm not super concerned. So Mawile is particularly good for this because it resists the grass type move, which means that it's going to be doing really low amount, and so should um, the Kecleon. So at this point, we're going to try to kill the Kecleon. Okay. And then we're going to do something kind of risky afterwards. So the first thing I'm going to do is protect. I want to see if the Lurantis can call a friend because I don't remember genuinely. Um, so we're going to protect so that we waste a Solar Blade turn. And then I believe it's going to try another Solar Blade. So we're going to do something super risky. Well, actually, do I have Leer on any other Pokemon? I think I've taken it off of all my other Pokemon, unfortunately. Uh, okay, so we're going to do it this way. We're going to see how this goes. So what I want to do is I want to one-shot the Lurantis. I may one-shot the Lurantis already, but I don't think that I do. So we're going to take this turn to switch. We're going to protect because I don't want to take damage if I don't have to take damage. And then on the next turn, it may X Scissor me. We don't care about it getting X Scissored, but it may take in, yeah, so it's using Solar Blade again, which is great. So basically, if you have a bunch of Intimidate Pokemon, this becomes a more simple battle. We're going to protect again just to make sure we keep safe. Okay. And it is -2 defense against a supersonic sky strike. I think we should be fine to one shot. Even if we didn't one shot, however, yeah, we're doing no damage. Even if we didn't one shot, even if we didn't want to use supersonic sky strike, basically all I would do is I would continue to leer it and then eventually try to one shot it with aerial ace. Um, we just don't want to deal with its synthesis. Yes, thank you, Percy. We don't want to deal with its synthesis if we don't have to, and this should be perfectly fine for taking it out. There we go. Okay. And that is the grass totem trial down. I'm glad that that went well. Maybe it was, in fact, better to get the Kecleon than the Confe. I guess that would make sense. I think Confe can increase its like special or increase its defense. So, maybe that is better. But yeah, so in the end, I think Kecleon was kind of the much luckier SOS Pokemon to get. So that's good. Yeah, but it looks like we beat this, which is great. Woo. Good. Glad we beat that trial. I would love to continue playing, but it is very late at night. So what I think we'll do is we'll get through this cutscene, we'll save, and then we'll call it a night and say that we'll come back and do this. So I think either tomorrow night or the night after, we'll come back and we will attempt to get through the end of um, Island 2, which still has a little bit of things to do, maybe an hour to an hour and a half's worth of stuff. But I think we'll also try to get to Island 3 and fight our rival battle. So our rival battle is one of the fights that I am concerned about, like quite concerned about. So we'll see how that goes. But something we still have to get through the Kahuna first, and get even through another battle before that. There are a lot of mandatory battles in the next area. This one was really just the totem Pokemon, so I'm glad we could get through it semi-quickly, just over an hour. And I'm glad it went well. The fire and grass type ones can spiral really easily if you don't have a good way to handle them. But luckily, intimidate switching is the nice thing about Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon is they do give you, you're not guaranteed an intimidate Pokemon. So we could have gotten Carbink and Mareep instead of Lillipup and Mawile, which we would only have Gyarados, and that would have made it really complicated because Gyarados got crit the first time. But being lucky with our encounters and getting all three made that a much simpler fight. Yeah, but thanks for coming. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you had a good time tonight, and I will see you next time. All right, bye-bye.